Alright, so regarding my latest Saxxy entry, there's been a few things that come up over the ever since it came out, actually.
Okay, so I'm a bit late, but I keep getting some of the same comments, so I figured I'd address them. First of all, thank you so much to all of you for the feedback we've been getting. It's been amazing. Most of it. So before I dive into the major subjects of this video, I figured I'd reply to some reoccurring comments.
Good video, but why the blue soldier can shot 6 rockets without the time-space loss of reloading? Artistic integrity.
Archimedes goes on Medic's left shoulder, actually.
Well, actually.
No, it doesn't. Auto balance said is suck. Yes. 348. The medic looks like Hitler? WTF. I don't see it. Red Spy look anything like Mr. Paladin to anyone? I don't see it.
Make part 2!
No. This is a lie. Heavy can't crouch walk when revved up.
Artistic integrity.
Where's Sniper's training scene? Sniper didn't need one because it takes no skill to play Sniper. Also, I forgot about it. What's the song called at the beginning?
It's right there on my channel.
Man, it's like you don't watch any of my other things, huh? Well, it's right there.
I'm glad you won. Well, you got Saxxy reward. Good job. I don't know where any of you got this from, but we didn't win. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. Cool. Not bad. Thank you.
So there are 3 things that I would like to talk about, or at least clear up for those of you who don't know. First of all, we had a very small team. Now, this should come as no surprise looking at the quality of the entry. But me being the only dedicated animator, writer, director, and effect manager, I think it's clear to see why it kind of lacks in some parts. But I really do think that the rest of my team should get more recognition. First of all, we have Kupo, who was in charge of the sound. He did the sound mixing, and he was also a great bouncer for all my ideas and kind of a co-director in the sense that I would tell him what I wanted to do, and then he'd tell me that was freaking stupid, and then I'd reconsider and do something different but better.
The second person who also deserves more recognition is Shauna Thompson, a great friend of mine who took time out of their busy life to help me bring music to the project. She composed the entire score, and it's freely available on my channel for those of you interested.
Lastly, but not leastly, Girardi Master, who did a swell job on importing custom assets into Source Filmmaker, which I know is such a hellish process. So let's address the elephant in the room. The shot ID and overlay. Gosh, how I fricked this up. Yeah, so it was a pretty big bummer. The fault was completely my own. For those of you who know Source Filmmaker know it all just takes a simple button to check on the overlay ID. And yep, I simply and plain just forgot to do that. And now, that wouldn't have been such a big deal. Like, it would have been understandable if I had set it to render and I wouldn't know until it was done. But no, that's not the case. You see, the thing with Source Filmmaker is that when you render something, it shows you frame by frame as you are rendering. And I was sitting there, staring blankly at the screen, as I could clearly see each frame render with the freaking shot ID overlay. So yeah, that was pretty dumb of me, but at the time I was done rendering, there simply was no time to do another. The deadline was closing in, and we just had to submit. Unfortunately, that's all there is to it. Gosh, I'm such an idiot! Lastly, what prompted me to do this video in the first place? You. I'm looking at you, anime guy that pretends to be an anime character. You claim that I copied this from Googly Gazer's entry? Yeah, I'm assuming he means man-up mannequins, because, it does share some striking similarities. And I'll go over why I don't think that they are the same. Fundamentally, I think they're different. And I'll get to why in a second, but I can see why he would draw the connection, why anyone would draw the connection, that this might have been ripped off from man-up mannequins. There's one scene in particular that stands out that's eerily close to the one from Team Captain. It's the one where the medic, he takes charge takes a spy revolver, shoots up in the air to get everyone's attention, and then coordinates the team. That was weird. When I saw this the first time, I was pretty sad because I saw this great animation and I thought, well, it's okay, well, we still got a pretty interesting story. And then I saw that and I was like, oh gosh, they did it even better. It goes without saying that Man Up Mannequin was straight up just amazing. Like, it surpassed it by a long shot. And that's just what it is. They clearly had a bigger team, clearly had planned for this a longer time. But don't you come here and tell me that I ripped them off. The entry was uploaded within the same day that ours was. With a team of our size, how would that even be feasible? Like, come on. Well, anyway, it's what it is. Great minds thinking alike. Though the story might seem similar, then there's one certain factor I feel that makes them fundamentally different. Metafiction. Metafiction is when you address something in a meta kind of sense. If you don't know what I mean, here's this definition. Team Captain is more of a commentary on the old balancing system and how it worked in old TF2, along with the skill gap between new and the experienced players by showing how many hats and or what cosmetics they were wearing. Now, Manned Up Mannequins, on the other hand, it derives more from the story of Team Fortress 2. Its characters are acting like their personality trait, unlike in Team Captain where they're just copy cutouts of players that could be anyone. The meta things in Team Captain, such as the respawns, the auto balances, and the server joins, those are meta examples. Now, in Manned Up Mannequins, on the other hand, there are no such things. These things are features of the TF2 game, but not something addressed in Manned Up Mannequin because it takes place within the story-driven universe, not the quote-unquote game universe. And to be fair, it takes a lot more to capture the essence of these rich and colorful characters in an original work such as Manned Up Mannequins, which, might I add, they did really well. The characters act like you would expect them to, and it's pretty interesting to see them act out this story in a way that only they could do. Unlike in Team Captain, where it's just, well, they're new players versus pro players. That's our thing. All right. So, did I blatantly rip off this very successful Saxxy entry a day before the deadline? No. Did our entry happen to have some similarities with a far better and successful entry? Yeah, I think that's possible. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I'm so hyped for the next Saxxy Awards whenever that's gonna happen. I'm gonna start on that real soon, so I hope all of you are gonna be watching and gonna be voting once that inevitably happens. Actually, maybe it might be very soon. That I haven't even. Oh gosh, I need to assemble the team, guys. We need to get started in the next section. We need to get going.